your Talking Basketball Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Talking Basketball Podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul. Hello. A bit more gravel in my voice for that one. I'm trying different basses and gravelly sound.
What sort of things? Have you been putting things in your mouth to gravel it up? Have you been chewing cat litter or something?
Sure.
So, we've already done one topic this week.
We got another one, Mark,
We've got another one.
It is really important.
It is
really, really important.
How important?
Well, I just want to let our listeners know. And you have got, by the end of June.
Junage.
This expires at the end of June. So we're going to talk about NBA 2k25.
Yes.
Now, at the moment, for the month of June, this is available on the PlayStation.
PlayStation Plus, isn't it? Is that what they call it?
Is it called PlayStation Plus?
The one where Plus Extra or something like that.
No, it's the one with the yellow plus. Is it PlayStation Plus?
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, Plus Extra or whatever it is, isn't it?
No, it's not extra. That's another one. That's the next one up. Anyway, it's one of the three. It's one of the 3 free monthly games.
Yes.
And I saw that and went, "Oh, that's awesome! Got to download it." Now, when we got to that point, we thought, let's just do a review on the game. So first of all, I will say it was like, what was it? It's about 100 gig download, wasn't it? 120, 25 gig download?
Something like that. Yeah, it's over 100.
And that's the only... I always kind of go, oh, okay, right. With the downloads, because you've got your PlayStation, you generally get about, what, 600 gig?
No, I'm actually looking it up right now to say exactly what the size is.
But you generally get about 600 gig free storage.
Yeah.
And look, me and you...
Like everything in life,
we got Warzone. Yeah. We got Call of Duty Warzone. So that's 250, 260 gig right there, gone.
About that.
And, you know, so 125 gig, I mean, look, it's all right. Now, let's say this, because I think this is really valuable. What is that chip, that memory stick that you can put inside the PlayStation? What was that one you told me? Western Digital, was it?
Yeah, just an NVMe M.2 drive.
So the one you told me to get was it a 1 terabyte
1 terabyte. There's also 2 terabytes. You Sabrent do another one as well.
But I think the 1 terabyte one was only like £86. I got it on Amazon.
Peanuts.
The only thing I will say is you do have to open up the PlayStation to kind of the plastic plate.
I totally
on one of the
opened
sides.
up the wrong side.
Oh, I did the same thing. And then when I opened up the right side, I was like, oh, I got to go get a Hoover. and hoovered the inside of my PlayStation, which apparently you're supposed to do.
Oh.
You're supposed to, like, that's what...
really?
The PlayStation expert, I'm just going to say SD, named SD.
Yeah. He who shall not be named.
Oh, I'll say Steve-O. Shout out to Steve-O.
Shout out Steve-O.
He said said you have to hoover it every year, I think.
I've literally never hoovered.
No, I've not hoovered it in 5 years, so yeah.
I mean, the Hoover doesn't even go in my room. I don't know about flipping on the PlayStation.
But I will say that that does help with storage. And also, when you're copying between the actual solid state drive of the PlayStation going on to that, it's 1,000,000 times quicker than having an external hard drive.
Yeah.
1,000,000 times quicker.
Yeah.
You're talking like 2 minutes rather than 20 minutes.
It's about 400... megabits a second write speed or something stupid like that. Like, doesn't matter what your internet speed is. Even if you I was actually having a conversation with SD yesterday about internet speeds just on the PlayStation, because there's an actual link in there that says if you go and test your internet speed through the PlayStation, it throttles it. And it says it online about it, and the reason is because you're talking to the PlayStation network. It's not about what your speed is. It doesn't matter what your speed is coming into your router or anything like that. It's the PlayStation network. If the network's running fast, you can have a fast game. If it doesn't, sometimes it can. That's why sometimes we get kicked off and dropped.
Is that why you're rubbish at Call of Duty?
No, that's a complete user error. It's because I want to go up to everyone and I run around trying to give them a cuddle, and they shoot me.
Hey, we're playing Warzone casual at the moment. We're taking on some robots.
Oh God,
we're getting top 5 every time. Anyway, we're digressing.
With you screaming at them.
So what I will say is, if you do need storage space, what was it, Mark?
An NVMe.m.2 drive.
Yeah, and I only got 1 gig, and that's like more than enough now. I've got like Call of Duty, the Indiana Jones game.
It's one of your weird flexes. You basically separated
Assassin's Creed,
your
Harry
drive.
Potter. I've got all of them on.
Yeah, but
I've
you've
got all of them on.
your drive, and then you've got like the kids as well, because that was part of the problem.
Yeah, like Fortnite, that's another 100 gig. They play that and stuff like that. So yeah, but anyway, I would definitely recommend that for games. But we're digressing. So NBA 2k25.
I have a very controversial bit about it as well.
Well, I'm a mixed bag with this game. A mixed bag between the innovation and the monetization. But what I will say is, my first thought of it was, graphics wise, it's amazing.
Yes,
it's absolutely amazing. I've never really played one of those games before, so I was kind of like, oh, I'm in a story mode. Oh, I'm in the NBA Finals, Game 7 as Orlando, and I'm a random player that I've just picked.
That's cool, isn't it?
That looked like me. And I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. So that was quite cool.
Do you remember the NBA Lives?
Mark, so I'll go back to the Bulls versus Lakers on the Mega Drive.
Right, look, Bulls versus Lakers and those sort of games.
Was it Bulls versus Lakers? Yeah. And Lakers versus Celtics was probably the first one.
Yeah. Lakers versus Celtics and Bulls versus Lakers. And what was interesting is he had Jordan in it, whereas you didn't fear NBA Jam because of his licensing, you wouldn't let him in it. But obviously, like, that sort of time period, you had all those games. Then they did NBA Live. This is before 2K existed. They did NBA Live, and that's EA. And that whole live thing was all around. The court was like a diagonal, if you remember. So it was like you'd be running up and down the court as an isometric view. That's how I used to play it. Yeah. And it was good, but the gameplay was it wasn't fluid. It was jerky. It was good for if you played the Madden games. Like, and everyone who's listening has at some point played a Madden game or an ice hockey game. Those were brilliant. They worked really well because you could see all your options and you know what you're going to do. But basketball's a bit more fluid, isn't it? Yeah. And you make more than one offensive movement. It could be, you get shut down, you have to bring it back again. And that's where Live struggled. NBA 2K took it in next stage, I think.
Yeah, and definitely with this game where they use this pro play motion system, which actually uses real NBA footage, which in turn then creates smoother animations. And also the defensive... You're looking at me like...
You literally said that like you're on commission.
I would love to be on commission. If you're part of Sony or PlayStation or NBA 2k25, please come and have a little chat. We'll talk about it every week. Yeah. Anyway, but also the defensive AI has massively improved also, which is making perimeter defense feel less than a lost cause, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So what I would say is, I mean, I've played a few of the different options on the game, but what I absolutely loved, obviously, you know, when you're playing, so I'm obviously playing as the Orlando Magic, but little small things like I can hear Paul Porter going, and now stand and cheer. I'm like, yes, like that is actually Paul Porter's voice in the arena. That is good. Such an amazing little small thing in the background, but brilliant. But I love the graphics. I love the player movement. I love the way they look. The My NBA and the franchise stuff. There's newly added 2000 LeBron draft stuff. Which is great for long-term gameplay, I'd say.
Does it have the flop button? Does it have the button where you get to stamp your feet and have a little cry?
Well, you've got badge progression and my career as well, which is all good stuff. I did look at the trophies. Look, I'm a trophy man. Sometimes I try not to look at it. It's so much harsher for the men than it is the women. So the trophy for the women is win a game in the WNBA.
Right.
The men, it's like win 3 seasons.
Oh God.
3 full seasons, and then the next one is like become a dynasty team. I mean, there are some absolute grinds there.
Yeah.
If you were looking at the trophies, but I love the fluidity of the game. I think it moves really well. I think where they've come from over the years, like.
Well, I'm literally, as you've
It's
been talking,
amazing.
I'm trying to find this game, which...
Like my TV's OLED. So I'm sitting there watching and going, this is
Nice little flex.
amazing. Well, I'm just highlighting like how I'm looking at the graphics.
So your TV's what?
Is it OLED?
Oh my!
There you go.
There you go.
So, but it's so bright. The graphics look great. The players look great. Like the detail on the tattoos of the players. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm playing rookie.
Yep.
Because I want to shoot it and I want it to go in. Like, I have tried some of the harder levels, but it's just like
8 foot rings out.
brick. And I'm just like, oh man, like, so I'm kind of playing it casual for fun. I want to just bring the ball up and shoot a free from like 40 feet out and it goes in. So yeah, maybe when I get
That's intriguing.
further down the
If
line,
someone did that when you were coaching, you'd be get out.
in the game, it's cool. So yeah, but I just love the fluidity game. I love the brightness. I love all those little small details that all come together.
Yeah.
What I didn't like, and I don't know who to blame this is, but it's the whole monetization of everything.
Microtransactions.
It does not. The game does not shy away from that, and for me, it's a massive elephant in the room. You know, the whole virtual currency and stuff like that. And you don't have to pay. However, if you don't pay, something like my career, you're going to have to absolutely grind that. It's going to be an absolute grind to progress in that.
It's interesting you put that because they've
unless you're willing to pay.
Obviously, they did that. Any of us listening remember lockdown, and a lot of people spent a lot of time playing computer games and doing stuff like that. There were games like you know Call of Duties and stuff you mentioned that you could grind out. Why? Because you're playing it a lot of the time. But when you're back in the real world now, and you got family, and you got jobs, and you got lives, and those sort of things, you're not spending 3 hours a night grinding through just to try and get Orlando to beat Philadelphia or something. You know, it's just not a realistic thing to do. So then they put it in and say, well, you can just pay, and then you can bump yourself up a little bit, which is nice. But you know, all of the games that we used to, I pulled up some games that when you're talking about these microtransactions, the ones that I think have always stood out for me as basketball games, and none of them had the microtransactions at their stages initially, and then one of them did later on, and it sort of ruined it a little bit.
And it does a little bit with this game. So they've kind of done the whole Call of Duty thing where you got the seasons.
Yeah. Let me guess, you can buy Jordan for a certain amount, or you could get Larry Bird.
I don't think Jordan's on there.
He's a funny one, isn't he, with games?
Yeah, but it's this whole, you're getting the rewards from going through the seasons and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it's really difficult to get away from that. That it's.
So, the two games that are...
it's painfully slow. That's the note, all right? It's just painfully slow. You just got to grind, or you just get your wallet out and go, yeah, here we go. This will be a little bit quicker.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, look, the two games for me that came to mind were NBA Street.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Right. You loved that.
That's early 2000s. That's 2002, 2003. But what that was famous for... So NBA Street, what was really good about it is there was lots of people who were playing with Jordan as the old thing. and it had that mechanic, it had that fluidity of the game. So you could do that. You could be your Dominique. You could go do those things, and you got all these heroes playing street ball. And early 2000s, that was like Kobe, Shaq era. That was pre LeBron on the scene. I'm not digging at him. I'm just saying it was the end of the 90s era. It was in that phase where it was transitioning through to that Kobe era, the era of the Spurs. It was those eras that were coming through. So the NBA was almost as big as it was going to be. Basically, at that point, it was gigantic. And that game was fantastic. It was so fluid. And the other games around at that time couldn't touch it. And then they sort of had all of these simulation sort of games. And then there was one that came out a little bit more recently, which was on the PlayStation as well, which was NBA 2k again, but it was called Playgrounds, I think it was called. And that Playgrounds game.
Oh, yeah. It's okay.
So you didn't,
yeah.
you were like, eh. And it basically came out in 2018. But I really liked that because it kind of they went sort of the NBA Jam route, where it was more like a fun sort of thing to do. And I thought that was good because it got people who didn't play basketball interested in basketball. So
I have to say NBA Jam is the greatest basketball game ever made.
Everyone now needs to go watch the documentary on it. Someone did it. I've got to give a shout out to whoever it was, but there's about 200 or 500,000 people who've watched it already. It was like the greatest game that Midway ever made because they say that they made.
Oh, Midway was it?
Yeah, it was Midway.
Okay.
Yeah. Because who else? What did Midway make at the same time?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And
Boom shakalaka.
And they interview in that thing.
We need to do some of that. Those sound effects in the show.
Boom shakalaka.
The guy who did the sound effect for Boom Shakalaka, they interviewed
He's
him.
on fire.
All of that. They do all of that and go through. It's a brilliant, brilliant documentary. And they just talk about the cheats, and they also talk about why Jordan wasn't
Big
in it.
heads.
Yeah.
I remember the big heads.
All of those sort of things.
I think I put big heads on. I quite like big heads.
Well, that's why Playgrounds, I liked it because they did that same thing. They kind of looked like the
Bill Clinton was in it as well.
Yes.
Can you remember that? Bill Clinton.
They had weird people. I want to say no, it wasn't the Grim Reaper or something like that. They had someone like that in it as well.
There was a Shaq version of the game as well.
Yeah,
remember that? There was like a special edition Shaq version.
Yes, and he talks about it because he's in it, and he's like, they had a special edition. But one of the things about it was all to do with the actual cabinet. I won't ruin it for everyone. Go watch it. It's like about an hour and a half. It's a brilliant. And whoever did it, I'll see if I'll find it while we're talking. It's a massive credit to them because I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. But those games, I like more of an arcadey game, so I found them quite fun. And that was my problem with this NBA Live. It's good, but I thought you're going to have to put a lot of time into this.
It's a lot of time. Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, yeah, if you just think you play a game a day, you go through 3.5 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Oh, sorry, 4 seasons. You'd get through 4 seasons if you play a game a day. I mean, it was good fun.
There it is. Here we go. It's Wrestling with Gaming. 440,000 views, and it's the story behind NBA Jam. And it's actually the whole story about it. So go check it out. Wrestling with Gaming, the story behind NBA Jam. Go watch it because it's... I think it's one of the best things I've watched in a long time because they're people who love gaming, but they're talking about how much NBA Jam influenced it at the time that NBA was on, when it came out, the marketing strategy, how they put the games in the things. It was genius, absolute genius.
And one thing I will say about this game is the story mode. So this is my career, my NBA mode is. I didn't skip it. Is how I'd phrase it, where you're looking at it going, where there's some stories going on and you think, oh, what is this? Skip, let's just get on with it. It was, I found myself not skipping it, where I was like, oh man, what's going to happen? What's he going to say here?
It's got, hasn't it got a management mode as well, where you can be a coach, player management, that sort of thing or something? There was something around something like that I've seen online, but I don't know if it's associated with this game or not.
Look,
I didn't get into that.
I'm not that far down in the game. I'm only just scratching the surface, but because it's this month, it's been released on PlayStation Plus. We need to ask some of these audience members to keep quiet.
But the thing is, on those games, I know you.
We are doing live shows now. If anyone wants to be here live whilst we're doing a little chat, just let us know.
God. I know you would have always gone through the team and been like, right, I need the correct roster. Would you do that with this game, for example?
No, I think it's automatically updating everything. Like once you download it, the first thing it did when you're loading up is updating all the rosters for all the teams.
Yeah. So but it's taking care of that.
Yeah. But I've not got any further down the line than playing around with the Orlando Magic. What I would have liked to do is go and play historical teams like the Bulls, the Celtics, the Lakers, all that without having to grind something out. That would be my thing. I was looking at the teams going, oh man, I'd really like to play as the 86 Boston Celtics and take on the 86 Showtime Lakers. But it's like, hang on, I've got to really grind here. So yeah.
My reason I'm saying about the trades is that there were people that were traded, for example, throughout the season. They waived a few people. I'm just literally looking through. They've been pretty good. Like they've re-signed Suggs and stuff like that. But I'm just looking at, Marcella Magic. I've got like Caleb Houston, for example. But I'm just looking through. The Magic haven't moved a lot this season in terms of trades or doing anything particularly that exciting with the roster. So maybe they're waiting for the draft, which is coming up pretty soon. But the reason I'm saying it is because when you start the season, does it do the trades based on what the team was at the beginning of this season?
I don't know.
That's
I imagine it updates as and when. Like if someone gets traded, I imagine it'll be updated straight away.
Because when the game came out, if it say comes out in the October, and that's when the season's starting, October going through to November, when you start playing as a season, are you playing from that October, in which case those people wouldn't have been traded yet?
I see what you're saying.
Can you see what I'm saying? Are you playing from what the team is as of today?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I would imagine you're playing as the team is today. You're not getting a transfer in December.
The reason I'm saying that is, can you imagine?
That'd be really good if it does it in real time. You get it.
But can you imagine how frustrating that would be for? I'm going to mention them because you hate it, but imagine if you're a Dallas player and you're like, I've got Luka.
And then suddenly you lose.
And then that next morning you'd be like, Luka's gone from the Mavericks. Luka's gone from my team on NBA 2K.
Well, that's why you have a thing called My Team, where it's like a collection. But I haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet.
How many people do you think still have Luka playing on the Mavs?
You would, yeah. Yeah, of course you would. But, look, what's your thoughts on the game, Mark? I wrote here, I think NBA 2k25 is technically a brilliant game. Great presentation. If you're a basketball fan, you'll find it hard not to love this game. My only negative is kind of this ever-present pressure to spend money, and that kind of casts a shadow, not just in this game, but in lots of games. This kind of pay to win or pay to get something, but it's still a great game.
I don't game on my own. I only game with when all of the guys are together. So if for that,
maybe Mark, you could open to our Patreon listeners.
Yeah,
that they could come on the PlayStation and play NBA.
No, we could do that.
2K25 of us.
We could actually do a live stream where
just bang my knee on the
we
table.
can do a live stream where Paul is streaming the game. Paul is going to be playing one of you because you're the better player than me. So you can play whoever it is, and I will be essentially the ref.
Why don't we just be on the same
managing
team?
Everything.
Actually, if you could be the ref, that would be amazing.
Without
technical foul.
Hang on, I'm just going to say this now.
Snowflake warning.
I would be the disabled person on the team. If I'm on the team, it is literally
that is out of order.
No, it is literally like you are giving a handicap to the other, like me, being on there because and it's not because I'm not coordinated. Paul will attest to this. I'm not very sensible when I play computer games. I just like to cause challenges for teammates.
Look, Mark, well, I'll give you this.
I would be
to your
throwing the ball
credit.
up the other end and throwing it
You'll
out
be
of
going,
bounds
I'm
or-
going to try a full court shot every play.
Yeah, well, let's do an alley-oop from here. It's like, what?
Let's see if we can get chucked out the game.
See, I just want to have fun doing it. So that perfectly sums up my problem with it, is that I wouldn't go into the story mode. I wouldn't play it on my own and do that slog match all the way through playing on my own. If I was playing against you online or something like that, that'd be fun. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't play it. So it would just be kind of like,
Yeah. I will say.
and that's the thing. It's not arcadey enough for me to just pick up, play for half an hour and do that. But I don't do that with mini games anyway. So
I will say now that I don't think there is a single person out there on the planet who will be able to beat me in NBA 2k25. Let's find out.
wow, let's
Let's find out.
I mean, you mentioned it earlier. It's
Come and take me and the Magic on.
oh god.
What I will say, and Martin, your credit, just to listen, because you dish yourself there. In your credit, what I will say is,
I'm great, thank you.
in Warzone, when we
Yes.
play that,
I am the medic.
when anyone goes down, you're the one. We were playing the other night, and the entire team goes down. I was there verbally communicating
Your displeasure at people.
abusively to the person who killed me for about 30 seconds, and all of a sudden I'm flying back down.
There is nothing that any of you have heard that is quite so not terrifying. It's the wrong word. It's the level. I haven't got a snowflake warning big enough for the potty mouth.
Yeah, I'm just passionate. I'm just passionate when it comes to gaming, and if you beat me, my passion is displayed.
You're passionate, and at the same time, you don't like it.
No, I don't
If
like
you
it.
lose.
There's nothing wrong with
let's
being
wrap.
passionate.
Let's wrap this, and we'll just say it. So I did actually set this up today.
What is it?
What is it? Patreon.
Oh, Patreon. Yeah. So we're looking at doing a Patreon. Maybe we should do another podcast on this. But yeah.
Well, we will do. But basically, it's pretty straightforward. Everyone knows what Patreon is. We have got our own Patreon page. We have set that up, blah, blah, blah. Very
And we're
exciting.
going to look at doing stuff on it. And, look, I'm going to say this now is we are two guys literally sitting, putting a lot of hours into this.
I'm going to literally tell you what it is right now, just straight off the bat. We went with your idea. So we got 3 tiers, and then we've got sponsorship tier. Simple as we're keeping it straight simple. First tier is rookie.
Rookie.
You're a rookie. Riding the pine. You're a rookie.
But what I will say
Second tier, you're a starter.
that's
third-
a wonderful thing to be a rookie.
Third tier, you're an all-star. And then we're going to have a tier just purely for sponsorship. If anyone wants to sponsor, we're only going to have 5 slots, and it'll be you just pay for it, and then you'll be sponsoring us for that month, and we can give you a shout out, whatever.
And if there's a product you want to talk to us, well, I will give an honest view on that product.
Oh yeah, look, 800,000 plus streams over the last few years. We have the listens, so if anyone wants to do it, but the reason we're doing it is because people want to show support, but sometimes they don't know how, and a lot of people are used to buy me a coffee or go to Patreon and stuff. And like Paul said, we do a lot of this. What you hear, this is the fun bit. Then there's all this other stuff we have to do.
Yeah.
So more often than not, double
and hours,
whatever
no,
you're
even
listening
more
to,
than that, mate.
the listening time,
Triple,
yeah.
quadruple, like
But we can actually,
days
but
we
some of
spend.
but coming up for ideas of the show, coming up for things like that.
Getting guests.
Well, not just getting guests, getting all of you lovely listeners. We get a message or a ping or something every now and again. We want you to be more involved. So there'll be things like Q&As. We're going to do polls. We're going to do a live session where everyone gets on a call and we just all talk stuff, whatever. All of that sort of stuff, like everyone does for patrons, behind the scenes things, or maybe some exclusive stuff. We'll have an interview with someone, and then there'll be a specific part. We'll keep that separately for our Patreon users. And the idea is that, the world isn't limitless in terms of our time and everything like that. So we have to try and be more selective about what we're doing. That's why we've changed the show so much.
And I think as well, this is where most of my time goes in. So not that anyone would know this, you will when you heard this, but we have recorded 2 shows. We recorded this PlayStation one, but
Yes.
we also did the betting one in one night.
Yes.
But Mark, you can I don't know if you can hear that, if our listeners can hear that, but that is a 21-page document
Yep.
of all my notes for those two shows. So that is like 5 hours work there. And it's that is what people don't see. And you know what? I will say I would love to do this full time.
Of course, 100%.
But we would need to get into a position when you know it's something which we can do.
The first thing that we have the reality is we pay for hosting, we pay for stuff, but most of it is it takes a lot of time, which is great. And we love doing it. I'd love to do it.
I think we've called it a labour of love, isn't it?
It is a labour of love. And I mean, it ties in nicely with basketball. We see so many volunteers, we see so many things, and people do stuff like that. But I think where we want to do it, we want to do more, not serious interviews. We want to step it up more with the interviews. Where if you've noticed, we're not doing as many of the game reports and doing that way because that's its own beast. And to be fair, a couple of the people who've given feedback on it, they say, look, you couldn't do the NBA or EuroLeague. There's just too many games. But unless you are reporting that day and firing it out there, if someone doesn't listen to it,
Mark,
2 days later,
full time we could.
But exactly, and the only time you do it is if you are literally almost like a broadcaster
It's
full
your job,
time.
yeah.
And the way we do it more is like we talk about the NBA, we talk about stuff like we've mentioned now in our last show, having Indiana and OKC in the finals, game 3. We'll talk about that, but we're not going to do reporting based on this one game or this one game because it is just too much of an overhead. And to be honest, if you're basketball players or your fans, you'd know it anyway.
Yeah.
So what are you really coming to listen to us for? And it's us just taking a mick out of each other and interviewing people, basically.
And I think what I'd like to achieve is if we could get to a point where we could do it on full time, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be
That'd be nice.
That would be like best case scenario. Like there's enough coming in that we're now full time, and we would do it full time.
And if we did that, I think
your content and shoot straight up.
It does, but this is where I won't sound silly, but it's not reaching out to the community. But I think that for me, that is the thing that I think I want us to build, is that having a community and having it. So we're saying to you, tell us what you want to hear and what you would value listening to.
Well, and we got the Q&As, like you said, as well.
And we do the Q&As. We're going to do the behind the scenes. But I mean, I haven't even gone through any of the perks and stuff like that. I mean, like in your tiers, you're going to have perks like not only the live stream, behind the scenes, you get member shout outs, all of our archive stuff. We'll even do like Paul will do a shout out for you, like we do on our intro, for example, like we do with our intro
Oh,
guests.
yeah, like the end now, stern and cheer.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that.
People could have it as a ringtone.
Yeah, and also
text.
the thing that's not on there at the moment that will be on there will all be related to the merch stuff. I've changed the way we're going to do it, but we're still using the same type of merch, but we're actually going to have it so people can buy it rather than just do it as giveaways. And then if you're a member, you'll get like a discount off of that as well. I
mean,
but I want us to have this community and have people in different countries, from the Philippines, Japan, America, Canada, Mexico, you name it. If you listen to us, we want to hear from you, and that's what I want. So let's see what we can do.
So, and look, just to conclude on that, I will say is, like you said, we've gone over 800,000 downloads now.
Holy shnikes.
And again, just based on that, even if it was something like 20 or 50p or whatever it would turn out per episode, or 75p per episode, if people are enjoying it, and I think they are because the downloads are still there, then it would just create this environment where we can, I feel, do it even better and more. So,
and if we can do it where we're interviewing people, EuroLeague refs, EuroLeague players, NBL players, NBA players, G League, you name it. We want to be speaking to the creme of the creme, because we've known each other a long time, so our interview technique's different to a lot of other people, and hopefully we can share more basketball stories, because that's what it's all about. Fundamentally, is what we started it with, And, we went into trying to represent UK basketball, I think it's fair to say, and lift it up and showing the spotlight on it. And UK basketball has its own challenges, I think it's fair to say. Although I will end it on, there was a Rise 3x3 has actually launched promoted the first 3-on-3 basketball court that was actually announced in the UK, in London now, which is kind of interesting.
Is this the one at Trafalgar?
No.
No, that's the...
No, so
it's the NBA thing, that is.
That was the NBA. The one they did for Rise 3-on-3, I think it's a court that is, it's not by Clapham, but it's out round that way. And I looked at it and thought, you know what, that's pretty cool, because does that mean that the 3-on-3, that's where the money is for the Olympics, remember? That's where all the money came from the Olympic Committee to Basketball England. It's all for 3-on-3 because we can do quite well in the Olympics for that. It's not not the normal basketball team, it's specifically 3-on-3 that they're promoting. So it's really interesting to see that that's something that's, coming forward. So yeah.
Can I also say there's a new development basketball court that's just appeared down in Brighton.
There it is.
That looks really nice. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's the new 3-on-3 court.
This one in Brighton is full court. Really nice, right on the beach.
Yeah.
It's great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, that was, I think, the Hoop Fix Foundation had something to do with that building.
Oh, really?
Up. Yeah,
oh, well, it looks brilliant. Really colourful.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because you see the guys from SBB going around the country and showing, like, this is a UK basketball court, and it's like a little bit of tarmac with grass all around it. And
the 3-point line.
When sometimes it's even, it's like the size of this table. That's the concrete, and then the rest of it's grass. And you're like, can you play basketball on that? So they've done loads of stuff like that, and then they go to other places around the world, and you see these beautiful courts in Spain and Greece and Germany and France and stuff, and you think, yeah, we got to do better. We have to do better.
We haven't got as much space, though, have we?
No.
Wow, this podcast is massively digressed from
the space we had
PlayStation Plus. Oh, that's what it's called, PlayStation Plus, NBA 2K.
Yeah, but as I just think it'd be nice to hear from people. Yeah. That's what we want to do. That's why we're doing.
So this whole Patreon thing is going to kick off at some point. We're not sure when it's going to kick off.
Well, it's live now. But
is it?
Yeah.
I know we want to put some special content on there. Maybe do the shows early on there. I know we're looking at something like that, but we're going to learn.
We're going to put the Patreon on there, and we might do it where we have a founding. We might make a founders tier just for everyone. So anyone who wants to join first off, we could call you a founder or whatever it is, and then you guys. And you guys
can
get
I
to
be
be
a founder?
You can be, but then you guys and girls will actually
myself.
Yeah, of course you do. But you'll have to. Well, we want to get people's ideas. What can we do? Well, how can we do it? And really just jack it up to the next level. That's the idea.
I would like to nominate you to be an honorary member of the Talking Basketball podcast.
That'd be.
Can you nominate me?
Bless you. No. I will, but you will have to do the there is an initiation.
Oh, yeah. I love those initiations.
There is an initiation.
Right. There we go. So NBA 2K.
NBA 2K.
All right.
Give it a
monetization is a bit of a shadow, but it's good. It's good.
Tell us what you think. Get on the socials. Give us a shout. Drop us an email. Do what you do. And so ends another edition to the Basketball Podcast. Thank you so much for listening and not mentioning the word badminton. I have been Mark.
I have been Paul. Oh look, we've been talking about NBA 2K. You haven't got a badminton game, have you? Says it all. Right, says it all.